Have you ever noticed how some people just don't like going out? Not because they're busy, not because they don't have friends, but because they genuinely prefer staying at home. While everyone else is excited about parties, social events, or hanging out, they'd rather stay in their own space, doing their own thing. And people often misunderstand them. They say things like, "You need to get out more," or "You're missing out," as if something is wrong with them. But what if that's not true? What if not wanting to go out actually says something deeper about how their mind works? Most people assume that if you don't like going out, you're antisocial, shy, or even lonely. But psychology shows that it's not that simple. The way you feel about social situations is often connected to how your brain processes stimulation, energy, and control. So instead of judging it as a weakness, it's better to understand it. Because once you do, you realize that people who prefer staying in are not broken, they're just wired differently. For some people, being around others is energizing. For others, it's exhausting. And if you're someone who hates going out, chances are social situations drain your energy instead of giving you more. Conversations, noise, people, expectations, all of it requires mental effort. You're constantly processing what to say, how to respond, how to act. Even if you're not consciously thinking about it, your brain is working the entire time. And after a few hours, you feel drained. Not physically tired, but mentally exhausted. That's why staying at home feels better, because it allows your mind to rest. It's not that you hate people, you just value your energy. A lot of social situations are built around small talk. Surface-level conversations, repeated questions, predictable interactions. What do you do? How have you been? What's new? And for some people, that feels meaningless. It feels repetitive. It doesn't stimulate them. People who prefer staying in often value deeper conversations. They'd rather talk about ideas, thoughts, or something meaningful instead of going through the same social script over and over again. So when they think about going out, they don't see it as exciting. They see it as mentally draining and unfulfilling. When you go out, you lose control. You don't control the noise, the people, the timing, or how long things last. You have to adapt to the situation. And for some people, that lack of control is uncomfortable. At home, everything is predictable. You control your space, your time, your energy. You can choose what you do, when you do it, and how long you do it. That sense of control creates comfort. So it's not that they're avoiding life. They're choosing an environment where they feel more at ease and more in control. A lot of people associate being alone with loneliness, but they're not the same thing. Some people genuinely enjoy being alone. It gives them space to think, reflect, and recharge. They don't need constant interaction to feel fulfilled. In fact, too much interaction can feel overwhelming. People who are comfortable with solitude don't feel like they're missing out. They feel like they're exactly where they want to be. And that's something many people don't understand, because they rely on external activity to feel engaged. Loud environments, crowded places, constant noise. For some people, that's exciting. For others, it's overwhelming. People who prefer staying in often have a lower tolerance for stimulation. Their brain processes more information from their surroundings, which can make busy environments feel intense. So instead of enjoying it, they feel overloaded. That's why quieter, controlled environments feel better. It's not about being antisocial. It's about how their brain responds to stimulation. Some people go out because they enjoy the experience, but many people go out because they don't want to feel left out. They want to be seen. They want to feel included. But people who are comfortable staying in usually don't rely on that as much. They don't need constant external validation to feel okay. They're more internally focused. So the idea of going out just to fit in doesn't appeal to them. They'd rather spend their time in a way that actually feels meaningful to them. Going out often involves a lot of time that feels unproductive. Getting ready, traveling, waiting, socializing without a clear purpose. And for some people, that feels like wasted time. They'd rather use that time for something else. Learning, working on something, or just relaxing in a way that feels intentional. It's not that they don't enjoy life. They just define enjoyment differently. They value how they spend their time more than how it looks from the outside. And here's where people get it wrong. They assume that if you don't like going out, something is wrong with you, that you need to be more social, more outgoing, more involved. But that's not always true. Sometimes it just means you understand your own energy, your preferences, and what actually makes you feel good. And instead of forcing yourself into environments that drain you, you choose what works for you. The problem is not staying in. The problem is thinking you're missing out when you're not. Because if you enjoy your own space, your own pace, and your own way of living, then you're not losing anything. You're just different, and different doesn't mean wrong. You don't have to go out just because everyone else does. You don't have to follow the same lifestyle. You don't have to force yourself into situations that don't feel right. Understanding yourself is more important than fitting in. And if staying in gives you peace, clarity, and energy, then that's not something you need to fix. That's something you've already figured out.